Hello, super excited to be live again once more. This time around, we are talking about Is Your Scrum Master Save and Kanban Interview with Ease, my most recent release book for those who are enthusiastic about the agile world. And it's kind of amazing seeing the interest that a lot of people are showing on this book. So I'm coming online today to be able to answer some questions about the book and also to be able to talk about these amazing piece and how it's going to be very instrumental, not just for those who are preparing for Scrum interview, but for also those who are instructors of Scrum. Now, before I go ahead and talk about the book, now let me talk about what actually inspired me to write this book. Is your Scrum? Um, let me get a clearer picture. Let me actually talk about what inspired me to write this book. Is your Scrum safe Kanban interview with ease? Now, if you've been following me on YouTube and Facebook and also on LinkedIn, you will understand or you must have known that I am very big when it comes to getting you understand how to answer interview questions and not just answering but how to articulate. And with more than 4 years now of helping a lot of people get into the space of Scrum, I have come to the realization that one of the biggest gap that we have is not that we are not studying, it's more on how to say it. One of the biggest gap that we have is simply the fact that we don't understand how to articulate our answers. So we have mastered, we have invested the time, we have watched a lot of videos, we have done certification to another, but then the finishing is missing. And one of the things I've noticed for most of the interviews that I've attended that landed me a job, most of the interviews did not take up to 20 minutes. And then I started asking myself the question, why is it that these interviews took a very short period? And this is not a Scrum, this is like for agile coach position and senior role position. Then I realized that the major goal where what interviewers are looking for is not you convincing them, it's more about how you articulate. I will give you an example. If I were to ask you the question, tell me about your experience in New York. Now, if you've read about New York in books, you would try to convince me that you know New York very well. But if you've actually been to any of the city in New York, then you would definitely, in less than two word, three word, one sentence, describe exactly what your experience with New York is all about, right? Now, I'm trying to bring you to a point why most of the problem we are facing is less about what we know, but how we say what we know. So the bigger gap in here about Scrum, or the bigger gap about those who are struggling in Scrum, also those who are teaching Scrum, it's not that they're not doing the right thing. They are doing the right thing. But then it get to a point on how do we articulate? How do you present something? Remember, if you've been recently in the market now for Scrum, you realize that there's high level of competition. That is very true. But the high level of competition does not mean that there is no Scrum job. There are a lot of Scrum job out there. But then how will you stand out if I'm making a decision to talk to 20 people and I only need one person? What makes you actually stand out? What makes you be that person that I want to talk to? Now, what makes you or what is going to determine my decision about who I want to talk to is not just about how well that person is learning about Scrum, is how can this person relate with me when we are having a conversation. So the book is your Scrum Safe Kanban. interview with ease. It's an experience from working with a lot of people, helping them go through the process of having a job, and also working with all my amazing coaches. Now, weekly, we have averagely about 5 different sessions where we're helping Scrum Masters, from training to having mastermind to interview prep. And this has been going on for the past 3 to 4 years, right? So this is not just something which we are guessing it's going to be the right thing. It's a proven system that has helped a lot of people get results. Right. So that is about my motivation of coming up with this pieces. So I have in the book, the first 3 sessions focus on building your mindset. The first 3 sessions of the book are very important. Why do I not just start with question one and start diving through into questions? It's very important that before you get into looking in or looking talking about question and answer, which I know a lot of people quite interested about, you need to first understand Scrum is a career, it's not a job. Many people have gotten into the space of Scrum and they have gone out of the Scrum not because they could not get a job, but because they did not treat Scrum as a career. Now, if you want a job, you can get any kind of a job. If my goal is to get a job, I'm looking for the fastest job I can get. But if my goal is to build a career, I'm coming in with a different mindset. For so many people, their goal is to get a job. And that is why everything around Scrum is very expensive for them. I want to repeat this again, if you can catch this. For many people who are struggling with getting a job in Scrum, their goal is to get a job, and that is why they are struggling to get a job. Now, one of the things in Is Your Scrum Master Job, the first chapter, I start by telling you it's not about the job, it's about the career. If you want to get a Scrum job, focus on the career. The career gives you the insight of the person they are looking for. The person they are looking for is not just someone that comes in and facilitate meetings. They are looking for a leader. So it helps you now to understand how to build even your relationship. What are even some of the skill set that you need to train? We had one of our students, she had to go for a public speaking class. Immediately she did that, her next interview, she got a job. Now, the problem wasn't that she did not master Scrum. And this is also the area where many people fail. For some people, you will need to go extra mile and learn the skill. And that is why the first chapter of this book is very important. Scrum is a career, not a job. So I focus on where to start. Why do you even need a Scrum Master job, right? Why do you need a job? The job is in the career. I spoke about this book. The job in this career. So don't skip this book and start on the fourth chapter when I start talking about 100 questions. I start giving you questions and answers. No, start from chapter one. Now, chapter two talk about the mindset. Everything you need is in the way you think. I spoke to someone a couple of weeks back and they were interested in my programs. Like, look, I've been watching YouTube for about 3 months. I come to the realization that um, your community is the best community I want to. I'm like, okay, let's get started. And now this person enrolled, and I said, we have a process, right? We don't just get you and put you. We have a process. You need to go through our onboarding process. And sometimes our onboarding might take about 2 days or 3 days, right? And not because we want to keep you on the spot, but because we want to make it ensure that we give you the right information. We give you where to get your material, how to plug into your class. We want to make sure you understand. We don't just want to throw you in there. And because this person could not get onboarded on the first day, like, you know what? I don't want to do this again. I need my money back, which is very okay. Now, this is where the mindset get it wrong. We want things done our way, right? So confidence is the key to success. And confidence is what helps you to make the right decision. And this is where a lot of people push into the Scrum fee and they get to a point where this is the point of their breakthrough, they are not able to resist, they are not able to stay consistent and to get the result. Now they quit. After 3 years, they come back. And when you come back after 3 years, it takes three times more effort to get it compared to the last 3 years. For those who were in Scrum the last past 3 years, you agree with me. Now, the third chapter talk about how to keep a job. Many people have gotten the job and they lose it in less than no time. There's a massive layout of a whole Scrum Masters and going on now, not because they're not Scrum Masters, but because they are trying to refine the market, right? Which is the reason why it's very important for you to understand how to keep that job right now. Right. So, and hello to please drop a comment. Let me know those who are watching so that I can give you a shout out. Hello, Kadisha. Thank you for getting the book. For those who have ordered their books, thank you very much. I think I've had about 40 plus orders. This book has just been in the market for less than a week and it's already on the best-selling list for study skills. I think I'm ranked number 3 right now, which is really, really massive, and it's one of the top books on Amazon, right? And for Amazon to list your book as a top book, it's not just about it means that it has what it takes. For those who have ordered your copy, please make sure you drop me a 5-star review. We want to get this book across to a whole lot of people. For those who have ordered the book and you've gone and you're going through the question, I'm going to talk about that a bit, how you will maximize the opportunity, because it's not just question and answer; it's a study guide, right? Which is about chapter 4, where we start talking about the studies. Now, chapter 4, I do 100 frequent asked questions in Scrum. Now, I categorize this question into different sections. I don't just dump the question. Section 1, I look at general agile question and Scrum understanding. In section 2 of chapter 4, I talk about okay, the first section is just 100 questions. You have all the questions listed. And my advice is that go through a question, try to answer it before you go to look at the answer in section 2, right? So, for instance, on the first section in chapter 4, which are questions on the role of a Scrum Master, right? There are about 10 questions there. Look at questions they will ask you about the role of Scrum Master. Try to answer these questions. When you try to answer the questions, then go to section 2 and validate if your answer is right. Right. That's a study guide. So I don't put question and answer on the same spot. Section 1, I put like just the question so you can go through and try to see if you understand it. Then you go to section 2. That's each chapter with question and answer have section 1 and section 2. Section 1 come with just the question alone. Section 2 now come with the question and answer. And with the frequent asked question on Scrum, the 100 frequent asked question, the different section are covered. I covered Scrum, the role of a Scrum Master. I covered Scrum, team dynamics and coaching. I covered communication and stakeholder management, continuous improvement and scaling, tools and techniques, advanced topic, behavioral and situational questions, knowledge on agile framework and practices. So I section it not into different components so that you can better master it. All right. When the next topic, which is going to be in chapter 4, right, which is going to be in chapter 4, and it's very, very powerful. Hello, Nick. Hello, Carla. Hello, everyone. If you have gotten the book, please, I need you to go do a 5-star review on Amazon. And thank you very much for ordering the book. And I promise that if you order the book, make sure you reach out to me. If you're not part of my community, just because you ordered that book, I'm going to grant you a 30-minute free coaching just to talk about anything. Now, talking about free coaching before I move to explain the other part, please, when you schedule a session for free coaching and you cannot make it, be very polite to let me know ahead of time. It's sometimes really annoying that I will block time to really talk to you. And in my free coaching, I'm not coming to tell you about my community. I'm not here. If you want to get into my community and want to talk about that, good. But when I do free coaching, I'm there to listen to you. So it becomes sometimes a bit not really polite and a bit not professional on when people schedule these, they don't show up, they don't cancel, and they don't even give a reason why they cancel. And they want to just reschedule just like that. No, it doesn't work that way. uh, I do this not because I have a lot of time, but because I know that somebody out there just needs an encouragement or just need one or two words to be able to break through. All right. Now let's talk about the questions on Save Scrum Master. I do 54 questions purely on Scale Agile. The reason I separated Scale Agile from Scrum because it's a bit different. The same, but the similar, but a bit different. And most often, if you like, or we interviewing you for a safe Scrum Master position, you can focus on that chapter that talks only on uh that talks only on safe Scrum, right? And within the Safe Scrum, I cover topic on the role and responsibility, general safe understanding, role and responsibility of a Scrum Master in a safe environment, safe ceremonies and event. I talk about PI planning and execution. There are questions under there. Continuous delivery pipeline and DevOps. There are questions under there. Lean Agile leadership and mindset. There are questions under there. Metrics and continuous improvement, the questions under there. And also, I talk about safe implementation challenges, and we talk about some real world challenges or some real world scenarios and tips. But we talk about Kanban, right? Kanban is the topic you want to get, trust me. And for many people who've been having trouble with their Kanban interview, we have over 52 questions that we capture Kanban, your general Kanban understanding, Kanban practices, metrics, and continuous improvement, team dynamics and coaching, advanced Kanban topics, tools and techniques in Kanban, leadership and vision in Kanban. And the last part of the book is focused on leadership and generic questions. Tell me about yourself. Why should we hire you? And all of that is in the last section of the book. So this book is a super packed book for not just those who are interviewing, but if you someone who like to really get grounded in agile in general, you should get this book. Now, the reason why it's also important because even when you have a job, your ability to stay grounded in the whole process is more focused on how you can continuously recollect your knowledge. So I'm posting the link. If you want to order that book, I'm sharing the link right now. Go ahead and grab that copy right away. And when you grab the copy, go through and give me a genuine review. I'm going to take a bit of time. I'll read about a couple of the questions randomly in the book, and we are going to discuss the answers right here. But I also want you to put in your question. If you have any question for me right now, this is a good opportunity to put that question in so we can all walk through with that. I think I have about 10 to 15 more minutes before the end of this session. So if you're watching, you want to go ahead and order your copy. Trust me, it's a value pack book, which is going to help you. And also for those who are aiming to become Scrum instructors, you can do that. Now, since this is a book launch, I want to go ahead and read the first paragraph, right, which is the first paragraph on chapter one. And I read, significant limitation to success is not knowing where to, a significant limitation to success is not knowing where to start, but how long it would take to complete the task and goal. And this is very true because sometimes people give up at the neck of their breakthrough, right? That's a big limitation. Many people start off where, but because they are unaware of what it will take them to finish, they end up at 70% of the process and give up. The irony lies in the fact that they are not aware of how close they are to achieving their success. This is what the scenario look like for first-time Scrum Master and job seeker. What if you could measure how close you are to accomplishing that dream and becoming a Scrum Master? Now, this is where the value of a community comes in. A community helps you to assess, it challenges you. Sometimes people feel like, oh, I already know this, until you start answering questions and people start asking you feedback, or until you go through an evaluation and they tell you, oh, look, you need to go and do some work. Sometimes you feel like you know, right? But at that point, there's that big gap, right? So that is just going through the first chapter, trust me, and getting that knowledge. That's why I said don't skip the first chapter. There is going to help build that strength. Now, the second chapter talk about the mindset, and I'm going to read this, the first chapter or the first paragraph on the second chapter. Now, the first paragraph in the second chapter says confidence is key to success. It requires a creative mindset to see through the world despite the gloomy atmosphere of our society. This is the reason why what you believe in is crucial to what you eventually become. So mindset is about creating a way you believe so that you can become it. Your belief is a powerful tool that can turn impossibility into possibilities and translate a word into a powerful message. Wow, I love that. The belief that the fact might not necessarily be the reality is a powerful message, right? I had one of my students, and I always make reference to her because she was limited in all ways, right? And you know, it got to a point where sometimes you're pushing someone to go through, but you're like, this it's gonna take a while. But this person so much believed in themselves, and they were about 60 something years, to a point that nothing could stop them from getting a federal job. Now, this is the mindset. But there are people who are well grounded, they are well to do, but just because they don't want to receive a hard feedback from a coach, like, oh, how can you give me such a feedback? I know I've done my homework. I don't want anybody to talk to me like that. And they give up, right? Now, this is the two different stuff. That someone, so you believe so much in yourself that you cannot stop along the way. Right. Now, there is also a balancing between believing and pushing through, which that's going to be a different conversation, right? But if you're part of the Radar Agility community, you realize that we take mindset training very seriously, and we take session to be able to train you how to navigate towards difficult situations when they arise. Now, let's look at what the first paragraph in chapter 3 actually says. Chapter 3, the first paragraph says that unlocking the path to securing and retaining a Scrum Master job require more than just meeting the requirement. It demands a strategic execution plan. Below, I have laid out a series of steps that have that have proven successful for numerous individuals, even those with no prior experience, enabling them to secure and maintain a lucrative six-figure Scrum Master position in as little as 90 days. Regrettably, some have hesitated to embrace this strategy only to return after 2 years, realizing they could have embarked on a 90 days journey if they had heeded to my advice. Now, this also come into many of us who are hesitant in pushing through our career journey. Right. Sometimes the reason something have not worked for you, or the reason people have promised a system and it does not work, it doesn't mean that all the systems are the same. For you to be able to validate if a system can help you or not, you need to take your time and do your homework. Ask the right questions. Most often, people come to me like, how are you going to guarantee that I will get a job? No, I'm not guaranteeing that you'll get a job. We have a system that has helped more than 200 people get a job. So if you come in and you're not unable to leverage that system, it has nothing to do with the fact that the system did not deliver. You have to constantly evaluate, what is the gap? What am I missing? And if you're doing that evaluation, you will realize that you can stay consistent even for 1 year, because you can clearly see that there is something I'm missing. And immediately I get this part right, I'm getting the job. Right. But then, and that's why I said in the first chapter that you need to treat Scrum as a career. Remember, for those who are medical doctors and pharmacists, they go to the college or university for 7 years or for 4 solid years. Why? Because they know what is ahead of them. Many people within the Scrum market, despite the fact that it's a six-figure job, they're not willing to wait for 3 months, for 90 days, like investing less than $3,000 to get a six-figure job in 90 days. And it's like, oh, it's too expensive for me. I can now it if you can think about the fact that you're spending a 40, 50, $80,000 to go do a master's or a bachelor, and nobody guarantee you a job at the end of the day, you equally realize that investing less than $5,000 to build a successful career that can change your life around, it's almost nothing. Right? That's a mindset part of Scrum. All right, since we understood the mindset, now let's move to the fourth chapter, which is about question and answer. I'm going to pick a random question and we're going to talk about that, right? I'll pick one random question in each chapter. We address that. And then if you have a couple of questions, I'm also going to handle that. So I'm taking question 10, which is in page 29, question 10, chapter 4. How do you handle changes during a sprint? I'll read the answer word to word, right? I'm not I try to answer it. I'm not trying to answer it from my own word, but I'm reading what is in the book, right? The book says that the response to that question says changes during a sprint should be minimized to maintain focus. If a change is unavoidable, I collaborate with the product owner to prioritize in the current sprint. If the change is significant, we handle it through a replanning session or roll it over to the next sprint if possible. Now, it gives you a concise response that you need to give. Right. Now, you can kind of tweak this around or add a bit of scenario or add a bit of experience when you build it. We do this a lot during our practical session. Now I'm going to go to the Say Scrum Master session and I'm going to read out one question as well. And I'll give you the response. So I'll do that for all the section. So this is going to come in chapter 5. Chapter 5, I'm looking at page 61. And it says, how do product owners and product managers collaborate in SAFE? How do product owners and product manager collaborate in SAFE? Otherwise, what's the difference between a product owner and a product manager in a SAFE environment? And this is the response you will get from the book. Product owners manage the team backlog, ensuring stories are ready for implementation, while product manager handle program level backlog, aligning work to strategic goal and coordinating across multiple teams to deliver value. Right, so product owner is team based, product manager align goes to strategy, but then the product manager can manage several teams. Right, so straight to the point, it gives you what is relevant, not beating around the bush, but then we're picking the choice of words that help you to stay concise and that help you to ensure that you are delivering exactly what you need to deliver. And I'm also going to take question 10 from the chapter 6. And chapter 6 is talking about Kanban, right? Let's do a bit of Kanban. Chapter 6 is talking about Kanban. Um, Question number 10 in chapter 6 says that, make a quick second, let me go there. What is the significance of the pull system in Kanban? Right. Kanban is a pull system, but what is the significance of the pull system in Kanban? And it says in a pull system, work is pulled into the next stage only when there is capacity to handle it. Master this. So why is Kanban a pull system, or what's the importance of a pull system? And it says that in a pull system, work is pulled into the next stage only when there is capacity to handle it. So it's flexible. It's not a scrum where we push into the sprint. Now the second part says it prevents overloading and ensure that the team work at a sustainable pace. Wow, that's a powerful response, right? Now I'm picking out question number 10 from each section. Just imagine if you had to go through all the 224 questions and actually make sure you do your practice. There is not going to be any Scrum interview or Save interview or Kanban interview that you will go in and not really crush it. Let's look at the last section of the book, which are leadership and generic questions. And I'm going to also talk about question number 10. And question number 10 say that why are you interested in this position? Right? Why are you interested in this position? Why do you want us to hire you? And my response there says, I am interested in this position because it aligns with my skills and career goals. I am particularly excited about company and project. I just put a company and project and believe my background is relevant and my background makes me a good fit. I am eager to contribute to your team and help drive success. Wow. So, um, I'm super excited about this book. Is your Scrum Master, is your Scrum Safe and Kanban interview with ease, right? It comes with over 224 question and answer, which you can go through at any time. One of the stuff that is so peculiar about this book is that, or why you should get a copy and not just rely on videos, is that you can take it everywhere. It's portable. It's not that big, right? Other my copies they're still to arrive because the author's copy take quite a number of time to get there. You can get it in your bag if you're waiting on your appointment and stuff. You can easily kind of just put it out and go through, even if you don't have internet. And also, sometimes when you're listening to videos online or you're using your phone, there's quite a lot of distraction. For me, I pay so much attention when I'm reading. That's why I buy a lot of books. I pay a lot of attention where I'm reading. Now, can be having your coffee, chatting with your friend, and you can quickly kind of just make reference. For students who are preparing for their interviews, you probably can also have a good time just with having talking with a friend over dinner, or you want to do your interview prep. You open it up, you're asking them a question, and then you're quickly making your references. So it's definitely prepare as a study guide. It's not just questions that are dumb. No, it starts by preparing your mindset, and secondly, helping to get you in the mode. So, it's a book everyone should get. Mm, Firstly, because it's written by someone who is in the practice, and I've been there. And if you've been following my video, you understand that we take question and answer very seriously. I'm also going to be taking some time to kind of really these days um, do more deeper analysis on some of the questions, more or less flipping forward and back on what makes a good answer and what does not make a good answer. And on Thursday, I'm also going to be live at 6 p.m. with my coaches. We're going to be doing a whole lot of questions and answers. So, if you need clarification, if you bought the books, you've been going through some questions, and sometimes you need clarification, we'll also have a lot of time to talk about that. I'll create time to come online frequently so that we can engage on the different books. Yes. So, um, perfect. So, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who have ordered the book. If you have not ordered the book, this is the right time to do that. Don't wait to get it. It's gonna be a super read for you. And please ensure that you drop me a review. That's gonna be the big ask I have for you. Take a few minutes and drop a 5-star review on Amazon. This is gonna help kind of also get the book on the spotlight so many other people can benefit from the book. Trust me, those who myself when I my wife ordered her own copy and I was going through, I was like, oh wow, did I really write this? There's kind of so much, right? Sometimes when you get into that mode of inspiration and you're working, when you now sit back and start looking at what you're doing. And in less than 1 month, there's another book coming out, right? It's more or less a Scrum Master handbook. If you're at work and you want to run, let's say, um, uh, you want to run a refinement meeting and you need a reference on the agenda, you just need to open through that book. I was doing some graphic design on the book, but I'm done with that. So I'm putting it together. It's more like a reference for those who are working. Even if you're going to work on the first day, you have that handbook. You can see how to create a team working agreement, how to do a product roadmap, a sample of it there. Everything is in that book. I've also invested a lot of energy to put that book down. How to reach your bend down chart, how to reach your bend up chart, and that stuff. I know we talk about all of this in a video, but it's always good when you can have it like on one place. And it's different from a textbook because I'm writing it from a practical perspective, more like a guide. And I know a lot of people have been also requesting on how to get that a manual for agile coaches. I'm working on that. And there's also another book on the Scrum Simplify, which is more or less what should I read? How should I prepare for my interview? Right. But it's not question and answer. It's more or less on explaining the concept on very simplified way. So those are stuff I'm doing on the background, quite busy, right? So sometime when I'm kind of strict on if you book a time, make sure you pay attention to it because every minute is important. But trust me, Scrum is not going anywhere. There are a lot of companies that are switching to Scrum now. There might be a couple of layoffs going now, but simply because it's a routine for many companies, especially in a fast moving role like IT, to clean up their system so they can bring new energy. And let me let me tell you a secret. I did not say this right. Let me tell you a secret just because you're listening. One of the reasons why many companies are also laying up and hiring now, if you look at the job descriptions that are coming up now, they want a scrum master to handle multiple roles. They want a product owner to handle multiple roles. They are looking for an agile coach. They are looking for an IT or product like this these days. So now they are combining multiple roles into one position. So instead of them hiring 3 people and paying, let's say, $300 an hour because of 3 people, they're getting one person. So it's also an approach for them to save on the job. So if you get out of a job, don't bother. Get back in there. The layoff is just re-strategizing. And that's why to stay in Scrum, you need to be a learner. For those who are already Scrum Master, go get some technical skills. Trust me. Learn how to practically what a migration project is like. What are the step by step? What are the tools? Get a bit technical into the process. Put yourself beyond just knowing Scrum and mastering Scrum. That's what we are looking for this day. And for those who are also into Scrum, I'm also going to encourage you go ahead and get your PMP certification and go ahead and start looking on how to push more towards also program management. Program management is a bit more upper, right? Program management and all of that. There are so many opportunities on program management. If you master that, trust me, you would not, if Scrum, which is not going anywhere, closes up today, take one step up, go on program management, go on product management. You can do that. All right. It's always amazing coming online and sharing with these amazing people. I see Coach Ella right there. Hello, Coach Ella. How are you doing? I see Krista Happy. Krista Happy. When you get that copy, don't forget to give a review on that. I see Mr. Paul. Mr. Paul, yes, please. I'm hoping your copy is going to arrive very soon. Don't forget to drop a review on that. I see Coach Catherine. I see Coach Ope. Um, who else? I see Carla. Carla, hello, Matthew. Um, Hello, Matthew. Hello, Chinda. I see Samuel, and I see Khadija, and everyone who I'm not able to see. Sometimes the internet is very biased. They only show you a very few people. How many people will join? They don't even show you for you to give them a shout out. But anyone will join, please. I want you to do me a favor before you leave. Make sure you click on the share button. And if you order the book and it's good, please share it to a friend. All right. Encourage them to order. Thank you. And this has been one of those biggest moments where we're able to actually reach quite a number of people and get that Scrum book into their hand. But then you also need to get into the practicals. That's why you need to reach out for that's why you need to reach out for practical coaching, learning how to do it in practice. Have a good evening. See you on the other side.